Hey YouTube, what's good? So a friend of mine, Allie, asked if I could put together some gear recommendations for summer camping and hiking, so that's what I'm gonna do. This is for you, Allie. So, like I said in the intro, this is a summer camping, hiking recommendation list or gear review, just some of my gear. This is not necessarily every single thing you could possibly buy. This is just what I've bought after I've watched many videos and done my own research, so take that with a grain of salt. I've tested all this equipment, I've hiked with it, I've slept with all of the sleeping gear, I've gone through it all, so there's only two new pieces of gear for me. So I'm sorry about the lighting here. I'm just trying to kind of get this done. I have to do it on the weekends because the construction in the neighborhood is just so loud that it, kind of bleeds into the audio. But in any event, I wanted to put together something that gives you an idea as to what you might look at, what you might buy. I've gotten these recommendations from Dixie, Darwin, Bigfoot, Jupiter, tons of other YouTube channels. So there's a ton of video out there, but this is what I've bought, this is what I've tested, and it's all worked out really well for me. So I'll go ahead and I'll lay it all out literally and just walk through it and talk through it, and hopefully it gives you some ideas as to what you might want to purchase. You don't have to purchase anything. You can treat it like a buffet, what you want, what you don't want, what you think you might need, what you might want to improve or upgrade, or if just don't take it at all. So in any event, that's what I wanted to go ahead and put together for you, Allie, and for your friends, so that way you have some options and some ideas as to things that you could take out there. And like I said, I've tested them all, they all work, and it's what I take out when I go hiking and camping. Hey, so real quick before we get into it, change my mind, I'm gonna go ahead and go through all of it. So I'm gonna put some links in the box below so you can skip to the pieces of equipment you wanna see and save yourself some time. So I'll go through all of it, lay it all out, review it all, tell you my thoughts on all of it, but you can skip to what you want, so hopefully that works for you. Okay, everybody, so here are my 3 packs. Now, Allie and others, if you have your own pack and you don't have any need for another one, fine, that's great. I'm just gonna run over what I have. I'm gonna go from left to right, newest to oldest, and I'll just go ahead and just dive right in. So this is the Waymark Thru 40. This is one of their standard built packs. This is my brand new pack. I haven't yet had a chance to try this out. This is a 40 liter, and I went ahead and got the optional hip pouches, the 2 hip pouches on this. I wanted to go with black and yellow, I like that color scheme. Has a nice light gray kind of bag there, or not bag, but compartment there, and then the 2 nice and stretchy side pockets. Has a place for ice axe here, some other, you can put your trekking poles here, and lash them up there at the top. The reason why I wanted to go with this was because it is stronger and holds up to, and I'll have to go ahead and post the weights somewhere up here that it can hold. It is a 40 liter and it can hold more than the Zpacks Nero. That's a 38 liter, but it can only hold up to 20 pounds. So this one holds just a little bit more, but it's great for carrying heavier weight. I think 35 is the most, but I'll go ahead and I'll double check that and I'll post it. It's a very lightweight pack. It's a frameless pack, so you have to know that it's a frameless pack. There's nothing here for frames to keep it off your back, so it's going to rest on your shoulders, but also you have these nice padded hip belts to really cinch that down so the weight can be on your hips. But this is what I'm really excited for, to take out even in the winter here, so I can go ahead and have a heavier pack but not have as much volume as the Arc Haul. So let me just go ahead and say this now. This is a 40 liter, 40, 38, and I believe this one's the 55 or 60. I think it's a 60. That one's overkill for, certainly for a day, even a couple of days. It's just too big. And I really bought it because I was going to potentially hike the Pacific Crest Trail, and I wanted something that would last up to 7 days for volume. So I went ahead and bought that. And that's probably the best all around general workhorse one pack to buy. That's it. It's a fantastic pack. I love it. It is a frame pack, so you have a frame, and I'll get into that, but these two are frameless. But that is probably the one, if you're going to buy one pack and that's it, you're done with it, I would buy the Zpacks Arc Haul. You could get the Arc Blast. I can go with Arc technology here in a bit when I go and review that, but the Arc series from Zpacks is wonderful. It's also very lightweight. This is really going to be my day pack or an overnight pack, maybe even up to 2 days or 3 days even, but you have to kind of be careful to weight. And then this is going to be my definite, up to a week pack, or 5 days, 4 days, and carrying heavier weights. But this is my new Waymark Thru 40. The lead time on this, I believe, is 10 to 12 weeks. So just know that if you do purchase that, it's 10 to 12 weeks. This, so Waymark here, fantastic company. He makes his gear himself, well, with a couple others, I imagine. You can completely customize the colors here. You can have all kinds of colors here, and he gives you tons of options on the website to choose, and you can see it in real time what the pack would look like. So it's just crazy how many options he gives you. One thing I will say though, the crazier you get with all this and the color scheme and everything, the longer it's going to take to produce. So you're looking at like a 12 to 15 week lead time on getting your product. So just know that. But Waymark is a really good company. And then the other two here are both from Zpacks, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and just go with the Nero here. So this is the Nero 38 liter. It's made from Dyneema, which is, I believe, 5 times or maybe 15. I think it's 5 times stronger in steel for the weight to strength ratio. It is waterproof. Dyneema is waterproof. However, because you have the sewing here and the stitching, they have to seam seal it on the inside. So it's not waterproof, but is extremely water resistant. This is not Dyneema. This is ripstop. This is ripstop. So not waterproof, but very, very good and water resistant. These are a little bit tougher and stronger to tears, but this is about as waterproof as you can possibly get. Now this is the Zpacks Nero. Like I said, it carries up to 20 pounds. It is a frameless pack. This is a sit pad that comes with it, not really a frame. I've taken it one time, worked fine. You do have the option here of this hip belt, and I have in my closet, and I'll bring that out, a fanny pack that goes right in the front, and they have an integrated clip system. So you just run it through, clip, and that's great. Or you can wear it as a satchel slash, let's be honest, it's a man purse. But in any event, it has a really integrated clip system for the belt, and that's fantastic. But like I said, it has a sit pad here, as close to a frame as you get. This is definitely for your ultra light backpacking. If you're going to go out for a day or two, like one night, spend the night, maybe 2 nights overnight. This is what I would use, knowing that I don't have a lot of weight to carry. It has a nice panel in the back, stretchy, and the side pockets are nice and big. And as you can see here, it's all Dyneema, it's all seam sealed. Internally here, I haven't had any issues looking over the quality here. I've examined it a few times, so the stitching looks good. Looks really good. This is kind of a different pack in that you have this lashing here on the side that so you can roll it down. You can lash it a couple of different ways. Most people with these, you can see that they're all roll top. So you roll down, connect the male female ends. This one, you can do that, or you can lash it down here with the connections up here. Haven't done that yet. Not a bad idea, just haven't had the chance to really test that out. And then coming on over to here, the one I have by far the most experience with, again, I would really recommend this, is the Zpacks Arc Haul, and I do believe this is the 60 liter series. So much like the Nero, although this one has some cords so you can actually attach things to the bottom, but has this panel, it has the ripstop, has the roll top. I put in here this very lightweight liner, the pack liner, so that way it'll keep things extra dry just in case there is a lot of rain. But this is my 60 liter pack, and coming over to the front side, I did pay for the additional water bottle attachment that you have to have. You can either have it put on when you order it or put it on yourself. And then I did pay and got these at the time of order, the additional hip pouches. These things are huge. In fact, the pack, the hip pouches over there are huge as well. This is tremendous volume. I mean, I've kept my cell phone. I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max, which I'm shooting on right now. Keeps that in there. Keeps a ton of stuff in there. This is, you could get away with one. It has this very highly water resistant zipper that is tough. I will say you have to really hold it from both ends to unzip, but it's very secure. So I have mixed feelings about that, because you can't just reach, because normally when this thing sits on my hips, it sort of sits back here, and I can't just reach and grab it right here like I would normally like to. I have to reach back, and so it is a little bit of an inconvenience, but it is very secure, and I don't have to worry about things getting wet. Now, like I said, this one is different than the other two. This has the frame, the Arc Haul technology. So what happens is you bend this down and then it'll get that off your back. Let's see if I can move this for you. So it'll be off your back. It'll be arched like that. The other two that I showed you, they lay directly on your back. It's very flat on your back. This one actually has literally the arc. So you can cinch that down as much as you want. It has load lifters or shifters for you, which is great. So just so you know, you don't have to keep it directly on your shoulders. You can pull it and it gets closer, so it helps with weight distribution and really does feel very nice. Has large, almost really huge side pockets. And yeah, the Arc Haul, like I said, is probably the best overall one pack ever to buy for somebody. It's a little expensive. This one could hold up to, I believe, 40 pounds. So this one can hold more than either of those two, I do believe. In fact, I'm sure I know this can hold more. This is bigger volume, but it's just overkill. And I had this originally, like I said, because I thought I was going to hike the Pacific Crest Trail and I want to be able to go up to 7 days. This is going to be definitely a 2-dayer, or an overnighter, light pack up to 20 pounds. And you have to include water with that. So I could include I could just take that off there because it's a Zpacks product. Take that off, that water bottle clip, put it on there, but you got to include that in your overall weight. So make sure you weigh your pack with all the food and the water to make sure you don't go over it. And then this guy here is going to be my, like I said, probably 4 days, maybe up to 5. But definitely for some of those winter nights when I have to carry more weight because of the winter conditions, it would probably be more than 20 pounds for 2 days. I'm going to carry it in the Waymark. This one only comes in a few stock colors, blue, black. I chose green. You don't have the customizability here or here like you do with Waymark. So you get the colors, and there's only so many colors you can get. There's extra attachments, yeah, but yeah, with Waymark you have a lot more variability and customizable options. One thing we'll say, the reason why I really just love this, I prefer this over HMG or Hyperlite mountain gear. This is lighter with all of the extra add-ons, because this was extra, this was extra, this is extra weight and extra on the price. This is lighter than the Hyperlite mountain gear 2400 series, 3400 series, everything. It's not by like 100 grams, this is by like 5 grams, but still their base pack, their base weight, I'm lighter with the extra modifications. So I've looked at getting a Hyperlite mountain gear before my Waymark, but actually the Waymark came in lighter than the Hyperlite mountain gear. And to show you the Arc Haul actually used, that's what I'm talking about. You can see that difference there. So your back would rest up on here, gets this off your back so there you can get some wind flow and not sweat so much. That's what it looks like. So yeah, like I just showed you, the Zpacks Arc Haul came in lighter. It has a higher volume it can carry at the 60 liter. It has a higher weight capacity than Hyperlite mountain gear and a lot of the other packs out there, and it's a frame pack, and just they can't beat the weight. So I'm not going to buy another pack that weighs a little bit more. It also can't carry as much, and it can't carry as heavy a load. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's why I went with and then stayed with the Zpacks Arc Haul. You can use also the Arc Blast, that's fine, but it's because it's the Arc series, so it's kind of all the same to me. I'm sure there's some differences, but that's what I would recommend if you want to buy one pack that will last you and do everything you need, period. It'll be the Zpacks Arc Haul, or if you want the Arc Blast. Just so far there's nothing out on the market that beats it. So there you go. Okay, moving on to the air pads. And I'm an air pad guy. I'm not a foam cell. I have a foam cell that I originally bought. I just can't do it. I'm a side sleeper. I'm a side sleeper, back sleeper, toss around sleeper. I'm an everything sleeper. And these air pads are great. So this being the warm version, or warm weather version video. So these are my two. The Nemo Tensor Insulated. I got the regular wide, and it's 25 inches across, which I would recommend buying. It helps with your elbows not slipping off and hitting the ground. It's fantastic. I think this is wonderful. It is robust. It's held up to my gaiter that I slept on it, actually, mistakenly. Not a problem, not one single problem with this. It will get down to about, I've heard people take it down to about 22 degrees, and they advise not to take it below 20. I believe that, but this is a fantastic, and you can buy the women's version, you can buy a shorter version, you can just go on the website. It's the Nemo Tensor regular, or you can buy short, you can buy whatever you want. I bought the regular wide, absolutely love it. I am 5'9", and have decently broad shoulders, but nothing exceptional, and it's fantastic. The thing I like about this is that it is a one-way in air system, so you can blow into it and not have to worry about air coming out. Fantastic. And then to go ahead and deflate, you just pull the whole thing out and it deflates. It's great. It's really great. So that makes it really easy to inflate and deflate. And I will go ahead and I'll put up somewhere here the R value of the Nemo. They've just started producing R values. They didn't used to, which R value is the industry standard to let you know how much you can expect from warmth. Now, this is the Thermarest Neolite, and I got the regular wide. I had the opportunity to get it, so I did, much like the Nemo. So the tensor X-Lite regular wide has an R value of 4.2, I believe, and I'll put that value up here. This can go down, they say it's 4th season. I don't know if I would take it down to 4th season in the winter here. We just got about a foot of snow here up in the Sierras, the North Sierras. The thing I like about this, and I got this one off of Amazon, is you have this little inlet valve here. Hold on. You have this little inlet valve here that is one way in, one way out. This is the new and improved version. So I would definitely advise you get this new and improved version. You have this here. Let me focus for you. So it says twist the wings to deflate. So that really does help. That's fantastic. For me, I find it much easier to not worry about having it deflate. The Thermarest I have, the X-Therm, is not advanced and doesn't have this new technology. So as you inflate it and blow into it, you have to keep your mouth on it, otherwise it will escape. This is much easier and just similar to the Nemo. You go ahead and you just twist that and it'll deflate quite easily. This, so just so you know, Ali and everyone else, people criticize Thermarest because it makes a lot of noise when you move around at night. I think that's being a little bit ginger, to say it nicely. I don't have a problem with it. It hasn't really kept me up. But I know it's like the biggest complaint people have about Thermarest and their air mattresses. I just don't see the point. It's just, I mean, come on, really stop it, guys. This one does not have that same crunchiness that Thermarest does. But they're both fantastic. I would say this one might be a little bit more robust and tough than the Thermarest. However, the Thermarest is lighter by a couple of ounces, so about the same temperature rating. Maybe this one's a little bit more robust. Maybe this one weighs lighter, but has a higher R value. I know it has a higher R value. This one is a square, just comes right down as a square. This one tapers down. So it's really your call. Do you want something that is really just a square, or something that really tapers? Do you want something that has less wrinkly, crinkly noise than not? Do you want something that weighs a little bit more than not? This one weighs less. So I use both. I feel comfortable taking the Thermarest further down in temperature than the tensor. So, and this can go all seasons. So if I was going ultralight, I would definitely take the Thermarest X-Lite. Definitely. And you can get the short version too, Ali. So you don't have to get the full length. You can actually get one that's shorter and save some more weight. I don't know how comfortable that'd be. But anyway, in any event, I tend to take this guy out quite a bit. But when I'm really trying to shave every single ounce, I'm going to go with this guy. I'm going to go with Thermarest. So anyway, hope this little part of the video helps you. And they're somewhat different in price, but definitely higher R value, less weight, maybe a little bit more robust. And I kind of like the idea that I can spread my feet out and not fall off, whereas I would kind of fall off with this guy. So anyway, hope this portion of the video helps. Okay, so this little portion of the video is going to be the quilts. Now I have this this air pad out just to kind of bridge the gap here. We just went over the air pads. That's the Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite. So here are my two quilts. Now I have here, the top is my 10 degree enlightened equipment Enigma. It's 850 down fill, and I bought the wide version because I toss and turn in my sleep. Normally they come a little bit more narrow, but I know myself and I know that I'm going to toss and turn, so I have that as sort of a backup. Not a backup, but to accommodate I toss and turn. This is same thing, enlightened equipment Enigma, but it's a 30 degree. It's a 950, which means has less down in it, but to achieve the same, or the lighter down in it to achieve the same warmth rating, which adds an extra, I think, like 100 bucks, 80 bucks, I'm not sure. Anyway, I think this is a duck and goose, I want to say. Duck and goose are the types of down. But in any event, what I like about the Enigma is the closed toe box, so you can't slip out and air doesn't slip in. The one problem I have with this, or criticism, is that the toe box is a little bit constricting. I would like to see it as a 45 inch, 46 inch toe box and not like a 42, just that way you can take your feet and spread out a little bit more as you sleep. But the 10 is too much for summer. Really, the 30 degree is what you want. You want a 30 degree or so. You can supplement it with clothes if you get a little bit too chilly. Here is my Sea to Summit pack liner, or sleeping bag liner, my quilt liner. That adds only a couple. It's a silk cotton blend, very light, but it goes inside of your quilt here and helps keep you in and keep you a little bit more warm. But I would go with the 30 degree for summer, because really you shouldn't be getting that down to that far of a temperature. I think most of the time here, even up at Lake Tahoe in June, July, and August, you're getting down to like the 40s. So 30 degree survival rating, 40 degree comfort, 45 degree comfort, you can put that on, you'll be fine. You might notice though, they have these two clamps, I should say, clasps. I can do it with one hand. So these, you can put this on, and then you have these two little snaps. You can put these on and then get in. But those clasps are designed to go with these drawstrings. You clasp them together with that, and it goes over your air pad to really cinch down, so that way the heat doesn't escape. So that way you stay warm all night. And I will say, yes, drafts do come in with quilts. There's no such thing as, oh, there's no drafts. No, there are drafts. That you will get a draft once in a while. But if you can really adjust this. This one is a closed loop. This one is not. Same principle though. These will clasp into the adjoining part on the quilt. I would say though, really cinch it down. The thing I like about both of these is that you have this top. I didn't have a draft collars, but you have these, so you can really cinch down the top. The only other criticism I have of this entire quilt system is that it's right where your face is. It's right there. But you can really cinch that down over your shoulders, like I have when I was out there camping in the snow, and it really works. It's fantastic. Just wish it wasn't like right where my face is. I wish it was like maybe off to the side. And the only other thing I'll say about these quilts, or your sleep system here, well, part of the sleep system, because I'm going to cover pillows next, is a bag. So this is the stuff sack that the quilts come with. It has this sort of a cinch string. It is not waterproof. It's nice, but it's not waterproof. My advice, go to Zpacks, or you can go to anybody really, and get, this is Zpacks logo, get yourself a Dyneema stuff sack. The reason I like it is because
It has the Velcro. You put the stuff in, you roll it down, and then you click it. It's Dyneema, so it is waterproof. It's about as waterproof as you can get. The thing that's really nice about this entire system is that these these quilts are, I got the down, not the synthetic. These quilts are unbelievably packable. I mean, the ability for you to squeeze this and get it into this is unreal. And I've had plenty of room to spare. In fact, I usually keep my camp clothes in the box here. In the box, I just throw it right in, roll it up, scrunch it up, stuff it in there, and I've made it. It's really an engineering feat as to how they can get these things to scrunch down. Now, when you do get to camp, you open this up, you need to let this loft. So you shake it out, and I'm gonna just do a little bit of that now. You just shake it out, and then let it sit, redistribute the down, because it will clump up, and then all you do is give it about, I'd say 15, maybe 20 minutes, and that loft will come back up and you'll be fine. Do not let this get wet. That's the problem with down. When it gets wet, it loses its properties entirely. It'll suck, which is why I say get yourself a waterproof bag, or as waterproof as you can get. Synthetic weighs more, is a little bit less packable, but will work when wet. That's kind of the trade-off there. So this is much more packable, warmer in my opinion. It's just a little bit better, but if this gets wet, you are definitely screwed. You're gonna be cold all night, you will be in trouble. Synthetic, you don't have that same experience, but there's pros and cons. So these are my quilts. This is what I use for the summer. This will definitely be using when I go and hike more here in the summer. It's just gonna be cooler for me, and as you can see with the quilt, one of the advantages of a quilt over a sleeping bag, and you don't have to buy it, use whatever you want. You don't have to have a quilt. You can, if you like sleeping bags, great, fine. But you can open this up, so you'll be face down this way. Actually, let me just totally show you what it would be. So this is what it would be looking like. If you want to, and you're too hot, you can just do that. You can't do that with a sleeping bag. You can't do that. In fact, you can pull one leg out and sleep with one leg over there. You can do the whole thing. So I think that's nice, because I do get kind of hot sometimes. So you have that option and that versatility. So anyway, that's the I would recommend Enlightened Equipments. They have a ton of different options. Go on their website, take a look at it. This one weighs, let me see how much this weighs. 17.20 ounces. I got the regular wide. I got the 950, so it's lighter than the 850 10 degree by a ways. So this saved me, I think, 5 or 6 ounces. But anyways, that's my sleep system. Is pretty much wrapped up with my Enlightened Equipment Enigma quilts. I love the sewn in foot box. You can get the what was it? The Bandit. There's a whole bunch of others. But anyways, I'm just rambling now, so I'll just go ahead and conclude this section. And just so you know, this pretty much wraps up most of your sleep system. And I really, really, really recommend these guys. All right, so for the sleep pillow system, and to finish off the sleep system, I'm gonna go ahead and go from left to right. These two are Sea to Summit. This is Big Sky International. And so this is a little bit smaller, as you can see. This is their Arrows pillow down regular. It's got a little bit of down in here. I didn't really see much into it. I actually kind of like the way that this feels. All of these have these two, I should say, have the same idea as an inflatable system that will not let air out, which is kind of nice because you can just kind of push on it and get it down to the sort of the comfort rating you want. So this one's larger. You can see my head has rested on this and gotten some of the oils on it. It's much bigger. This is my first one, and this is the Sea to Summit Arrows Pillow Ultralight Large. So this one's nice. I find it to be pretty darn useful, especially I can lay like almost my shoulders here and put my base of my skull up here, and it really does help. Like again, same thing. Won't let the air out. To push, get it to where you like it, and then just pop it when you're ready to deflate. So with these two, I'll go ahead and put the weights that I have on my scalp here and here. And yes, they do pack down into those stuff sacks if you want to put them in a stuff sack. This is my ultralight alternative. It's from, like I said, Big Sky. It's the Dream Sleeper. It comes with these little baffles, if you will. And what it does, it's designed to look like this. And so your head goes here as a side sleeper, or even a regular back sleeper. This is actually pretty comfortable. You can get it with the covered pillow little options. This is a little piece of fabric that goes over it. I went again for that. I was going for the ultra light, ultra light, and so I just got this. This will go down to freezing, as I've read, and I'll put the weight up here. This is by far my lightest setup and lightest pillow. It works fine. The only thing that I kind of don't like about it is that it has this kind of inflatable mechanism, so as you're blowing it up you have to keep your lips on it, otherwise the air will come out. Not quite like the Sea to Summits, but in any event, these are the three pillows I have. Take them out depending on how much weight I want to save, how much comfort I'm looking for, and also how much durability. So it just varies from season to season. So go ahead, I'll put if I can right now, I'll put the weights of all three of these on my scale and show you what they look like, and hope this helps. Oh, and something I forgot to mention, because there's really no reason to have three camp pillows, right? There's just no reason for it. I've kind of acquired them throughout the years, but I also generally sleep with those pillows. I find them easier to adjust than a regular pillow. So when I go to sleep at night, on the general, I use those pillows. So it's not just camping. So yeah, but there's no need to have three. But no, I like them, so I keep them. That's it. All right, so went through our pack, our sleep system. I'm gonna go to some water filters, and I kind of talked about this on one of the other videos, Ali, but for the rest of you as well, this is my setup of my water filter system now. I will say that I always try to carry a backup, but I'm not the best about it. So basically, because it's really the warmer weather, you don't have to have as much of a worry about things in the summer months in terms of, you know, water availability, hopefully, because snow's melted. But what I like are the Sawyer squeezes. Now this is the micro. I'll go over that in a second, but this is the Sawyer squeeze. It is extremely common, extremely popular, and I put this smart water bottle filter on it, but I need to wash that out. But this is rated for like up to I think it's 1 million gallons of water is what it'll filter. They test every single one of these. It's at 0.001 microns, I believe. And it's, like I said, extremely popular. You go to REI, buy it. It's inexpensive. It's pretty lightweight. You can attach it to water bags. You can attach it to the actual smart water bottles or other water bottles because of the threading. It's almost universal. So just pop it on there and then you just drink out of it. I really love this. This is fantastic. This will get out everything but pesticides, which shouldn't be a problem camping. But it's fantastic. It comes with these little water bags. I don't find them to be that great. You have these smaller opening. It's just hard to collect water, which is why I have my knock, but I'll get to that in a second. I know, so here's the Sawyer Micro, and I know a lot of people talk a lot of shit about this. They say the flow rate's not as good as the regular one. They say that it clogs up easy. I gotta tell you, I've used it several times, haven't had a problem with it. I could take this, put it on top of my water bottle and be fine. I've noticed no real difference in the flow. So, I mean, I know a lot of people talk a lot of shit and they say it's garbage. I haven't really experienced that problem yet. And before I get to the water bag or water bladder, just so you know, you should probably always carry a backup in case one of those actually does clog or breaks. If you drop this and when it gets really, really cold, freezing cold, I've heard of people dropping this and breaking it right here on a rock, and so renders it useless. In that case, you can use these aqua tabs, and you just pop it in, like it says here in the video or on the camera. Just has 30 tablets. You just pop it in around 30 minutes before you want to drink your water, and it'll be fine. So it's great to have a backup. Now, what I use to collect a lot of my water and filter through is my knock. This is the 2-liter version, and it has this wide mouth opening, so you can just collect the water, do that a few times. You can then just put this back on itself, and hold on for a second, I'll cut the video, and then fold it back on itself and then zip this over, and it locks. So I'll show you that here in a sec. So there it is, locked. And it has this little convenient feature here, so it can't go too far when you lock it, and then it does hold quite well. You can get little pinhole leaks here sometimes, but for the most part this works just great. Holds plenty of water. You can also collect water, hold it in here, put it in your bag, and you're great. So that's what I use for my water filters. I will probably for life. Okay, now let's get into the cook system. So we're talking about warm weather. You have a few options here. So I'm gonna get one of them out of the way. Cold soaking. Literally, you put your contents in here, water, let it soak for several hours, maybe even 4 hours, 5 hours, and then you just open this up. I'm using a Talenti jar like most hikers do, because if you don't use this, then are you really a hiker? Just kidding. Anyway, no, bad jokes aside, anything works. But I don't know, I mean, cold mashed potatoes, cold ramen, cold couscous, cold anything, I don't know. I use this a little bit for snacks, for lunch. I could put in a nice meal replacement and just shake it up, and then I'm good. So in any event, that's cold soaking. Most preferably, especially in other environments, but even during the warmer months, is a cook system. So this is my cook system. I'm going to show you exactly everything's in it. I have this Sea to Summit long spork. So you can see it there. Now, I also have this collapsible mug. And the reason I have that, and yes, it is extra weight, blah, 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 I reclaim my water. So when I'm cooking in my Toaks, which I'll get to in a second, I pour it into here to save it. When I put my olive oil in, eat, I have this water to help clean my cook system, my pot. And I figured, you know, if we make such a big deal about conservation and such a big deal about water and conserving that and not polluting, well, you probably should also reclaim your water. Home brewers do it, brewers do it, a lot of others do it. So if you're brewing beer, you know water's a big thing. Reclaiming water is a big thing. This is really needing to be clean, washed. It's not dirty because of, you know, filth and all that. It's actually the salt from the ramen noodles, which are my favorite. Anyway, this is the Toaks 750 milliliter titanium cook pot. It has this for ventilation. Pick it up, and it's fantastic. I put all my stuff in here, as much as I can anyway. So I'm gonna dump this out, and this is my cook system every day when I'm out. So I have my smaller jet boil gas canister. Can't use it in the winter month or when it's really cold, but when it's warm, no biggie. My hot lips that go right on when I want to drink coffee quickly, right after brewing it. This is my Soto Windmaster stove that goes right on top. Fantastic. And it's also self-igniting, so you don't have to have matches. You can bring matches along with you if you want to. Sometimes I've had to like click this up to like 8 times, but it always works. And then I like to have here just a towel. It's from REI, nothing big. It's just a towel to wipe my pot out when I'm done. Use the water to wash it all out, and then I use that to clean it. This helps me feel a little bit more cleanly. Also, I camp most of the time, if not almost exclusively, in bear country. So I want this as clean as possible. And I will put this in my bear bag, not my bear bag, my Ursack or whatever I'm going to use for the storage. I'll take that out and put it in there. I don't necessarily put this in my bear canister or my Ursack, but sometimes I do if I feel like I can't clean it out. But that's my cook system. Again, you can do the cold soak. I mean, if you want to, yeah. But I also do use this as a lunch. Just shake it up as a good shake for a meal replacement. But there you go. That's all of it for my meal, or my meal system. Okay, so I'm going to go over some food storage now that we get the cook system out of the way. Now, you don't have to have this by any means. I find it useful, and I bought them in packs or series. These are Zpacks, O-P-S-A-C-K-S. I'll link in the box below, but these are Zpacks. These are odor-proof, waterproof. They're military grade. They are quite beefy. You have several different versions. This is great for iPhones and such. You can put your phone in here. And I have put it underwater. I've tested it out, and it does work. You can also put food in here, whatever you want, ditty bags and such in here. Zip it. It's very, very strong, if you will, Ziploc bags. These are very strong, and they do work. So it's great to have these. I put these inside of my other devices here that I'm going to show you, just to help as a redundancy measure to reduce the odor, because I don't want a bear smelling this and being attracted to my food and then coming to my campsite. So this is really meant to reduce that odor, actually eliminate the odor, make it waterproof, and help out with the bears. Some people use this exclusively and only. I don't do that. What I do is I put my food, several days worth of in here, or a day or 2 or 3 in here, and I come over to my bear canisters. Now, depending on where you are at with requirements, like Yosemite, you must use a bear canister. Other places you can get away with an Ursack. And there's a lot of debate about this, and I won't get into that. I'm not going to get into that. And if you put comments down below about, oh my God, you're using whatever, I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to hear it. That's not what this is for. So I put my food into the Zpacks. I put that into, if it's required, a bear canister. This is the smaller one. This is the BV450, and this is the BV500. This is good for, maybe 3 days of food or so. In about 3 days of food, right? Three or whatever. This is good for 5. They say up to 7, but I'd say about 5 is probably really good. Now, you might ask, like, why do I have all these? Well, because I go camping in bear country. I need to have something. After you hike a 15, 17, 20 mile day, you will definitely be able to sympathize that if you don't have to carry this guy, which is also quite large, it's like over 2 pounds just into itself. If you don't have to carry this and you can get away with this guy and save the weight, your back, your hips, your joints will definitely thank you. So that's why I have a couple of them. I want to have the ability to go further into the backcountry, but if I don't have to, I'm going to do this. Now, there is something here that, like I said, kind of controversial. It's called an Ursack, and this is the Ursack Almighty. Much lighter than the alternatives. It's rated for grizzly bears. People, again, are controversial about it. I think the problem that people have is that they don't tie them securely. And they also put food in there that they don't want smashed. Well, a bear will smash the food. They can't get into it per se, but they'll smash it. That's not what this is for. This is just to make sure the bear can't get in. And actually, because this is an Ursack Almighty, which is different than the other just regular Ursacks, this is for both bears and rodents. So if you buy a regular Ursack, you have to hang it from a tree, and that's fine. But it doesn't protect from rodents, which is kind of odd because you would think that a bear would be more vociferous in their strength, and they are. But what happens is, with the regular Ursacks, the way the fabric is woven, the little tiny claws of mice and other little rodents, and squirrels, they can get through it. So you put your food in this, it's the best of both worlds. It really is. It's a mesh between both worlds. And what you have in here is this extremely strong Velcro. I mean, this is just unreal Velcro. Once you close it, it is very hard to get back open, which is a good thing. But they took the previous bag, lined it, and then put the Ursack over it. So I went ahead and bought this. It's the best of both worlds. If you go camping into something that's bear country and you have a bear locker, fantastic. Take that, save the weight of this. Put your food in this. Put your food in the liner here. Put the liner inside, and you're good. Okay, so got the food storage, the cook system, and all that stuff out of the way. This is the rain system or rain equipment. Now, you might say, why would you need this, Jason, in the warmer months? Well, obviously because it's going to rain sometimes, and I want to give you a few options. Well, really only two. So for the jacket, I use the Outdoor Research Helium 2. It packs into itself. It's fantastic. It's great. Highly recommend it. It does a great job. Has a little pouch on your left pectoral or left breast pocket. It's great to put stuff in. Now this is where I'm going to give you an option. So this is the Zpacks Burgess Rain Pants. It is no frills, no zipper. I chose for the lightest I could. It also has a drawstring that you can basically wrap it up. I think it's like there's a Zpacks logo. I think it's like 3.3 ounces or something like that. Very light. But that's all it is. Just comes over you to block out the rain. That's it. You have the REI rain pants here. This has a few more bells and whistles, but it's also heavier, considerably heavier. It has a drawstring, it has zippers or pockets. You can zip from your leg up. You can tailor that. You have all of this other sort of additions. You do not have it with this. So if you want to save a whole heck of a lot of weight, no frills, whatever, you can go with this, although it is more expensive than this guy. And the reason why is because you're paying for ultralight. I don't have a problem paying for ultralight because you're paying for technology. So you get protection, just like you would here, much lighter. And when it comes into packing your pack, and you want to save as much weight as possible and every ounce counts, well, you might want to go with this. But if you don't really worry about the ounces and it's not a big, hike, but you want to make darn sure you've got everything and you have pockets and everything for rain and it's okay, well, sure, go with that. Regardless of that, I would always take that. Whenever I think it might possibly ever rain, I would take my Outdoor Research Helium 2 because it's so lightweight, so packable. almost like it's not there. And if it does happen to happen, you're good to go. So anyway, this is my outdoor research. Zpacks Virtus rain pants, REI regular rain pants for my rain system in the warmer months, and I'll try to post all of those weights up here. All right, so kind of wrapping this video up here pretty quick. We have my electronics and ditties, and after this is the last one. I'll throw in a bonus, but I'm gonna go through this. This is my electronics and ditties bag, so I'll just go through it. So starting here with some of the ditties, I really like these. I think they're Noon hydration tabs. They're great to pop into your water. They dissolve rather quickly, and they help give you some of those electrolytes. It's not like Gatorade. I had a big problem. I'm also pre-diabetic, but I had a big problem drinking a bunch of Gatorade on a hike. So much sugar in there, just screwed me over bad. To save yourself some weight and convenience, you've got this banana boat, or you can, banana boat makes their own. Nope, made this one too. Ultra Sport UV protection. I shave my head, so it's great to just put on my head and my arms and whatever. Body Glide. This is a good one because if you're hiking a long distance, you're going to want to rub this on your thighs, other places, to reduce chafing. So fantastic. And then if you're in a buggy area, you have some of this Repel. You don't have to go through like the 100% DEET. I understand it's not necessarily great for the environment, not great for your body, but it's fantastic to get them off. But I have had pretty good success with this, and it's just a stick. That's all. Come on, hold on. Screw top. That's all it is. That's all it is. So, in any event, fantastic. Saves you weight. You don't have to bring all that stuff with you. And then this is something that you can have. It's also got SPF in it, so you can put it on your lips so you don't get your lips sun chapped when you're out all day in the sun for multiple days in a row. That does, or it can happen. So you have the sun bum chapstick with the SPF. You do want to put all of this stuff though into your Ursack or whatever it is you want to use to protect from bears. So anything smellable you want to have in a secure location from bears, if bears are around. So with that, the last couple of things I have here, this is Leuco tape. Wonderful tape. It's almost like duct tape, but good for your skin, or safe for your skin. I have this on my trekking pole. It's fantastic for many other reasons, but it's great for blisters, it's great for patching, it's great for all kinds of stuff. This is KT tape, and I bought it with, let me just take the whole thing out here. The pre-cut, so it's already pre-cut, and you can literally just tear it off here and put it on your ankles, put it on your feet, wherever you're going to get blisters. This doesn't stay or isn't as adhesive as the Leuco tape. Leuco tape, in my opinion, is kind of like the gold standard. This is as good as it gets. KT's okay, it rubs off, it's not nearly as waterproof or as water resistant. And yes, that was the cat. That was the cat just there. But in any event, I do kind of use a little bit of both. You can get larger rolls of KT tape, but I think Leuco is probably your best. You can get it in different colors, but this is flesh color, and it's just easy, whatever. And I usually have like a little bag here. It has something for my ears when I want to sleep, so I have some of that to block out the sound. You know, some floss, typical stuff with your Band-Aids. I put in my patch repair kits for my air pads. I put in my tweezers, put in my no-till clippers and all that good stuff. So easy to put in. I also have this, just put the whole thing over, light AF bag. It's water resistant, waterproof, and it has that roll top as well. So with that, I'll go over here. This is the last part of my sort of ditties. These wilderness wipes, I'm going to caution you against using these. I use them on my arms and my hands. That's great. Do not use them on your bum. Reason being, and I read a good article here recently and have unfortunately experienced this in the wild, that these things are so antibacterial that they actually remove the good bacteria that you would want to have there. So it in a sense, it rubs you raw. And if you use that, you will be raw. So it's best to use toilet paper or even a backwoods country bidet if you're into that. But I would not use those for your toilet paper or your rear end. I would not. Cleaning your legs and arms and all that after a long day of hiking, sure, whatever, but not for your bum. And so my electronics, and I'm not going to go over all that I have, but just some of the big ones here. So this is an Anker 13,000 milliamp hour battery bank, and this battery bank is really good. It gives me two almost, it's not quite 2.5 full iPhone 11 Pro Max charges, and I mean full charges. This is fantastic. It's great. It has a couple of different ports. It's really good. It's also a little bit heavy. So if you're gonna go on a multi-day hike and do a lot of vlogging, a lot of picture taking, something that's gonna weigh your battery down, sure, go ahead and use it. If you're not gonna do that, my recommendation is this Goal Zero Flip 12. It's very light. It gave me a 55% charge before it tapped out on my iPhone. And so if I'm just going like 3 days and not doing anything particularly extremely crazy with my iPhone, and I don't have to really do a lot with my iPhone, by the way, to drain it, it just does a good job. So I can take my iPhone all the way down to like 12%, give this a good charge, spend another 2 days out in the backcountry, and get into town, and I'm fine. So I think by my calculations, if I were to really stretch it out, I could use my phone, here, to video, photograph, do all the stuff, get one really good charge out of this, and then have enough to get me to town. Let's say 3 days later, I can get 6 days out of this. I have the iPhone here, charge it another 2 to 3 days. I can get that. This is a lightning converter. You put your SD card, if you have a DSLR or anything that takes an SD card, you put it in here, plug it into your iPhone, and it will read very quickly. And I've used it many, many times. It's a lifesaver and a time saver for sure with video and pictures. I usually wirelessly transfer my pictures down to 2 megapixels. Otherwise, they're like 23 megs. But for video, holy crap, this thing is wonderful. And you can use the GoPro with their SD converter, and it fits in there. So fantastic. And the last thing I'll say about the ditties is this is the Peak Designs clip. So this part will go onto your camera, clip in, this screws off, and you put it onto your shoulder rest, shoulder pack, and it just sits there on the left hand side or right hand side, depending on how you like it, and it makes it easy to clip on and clip off your cameras. So if you're doing a lot of vlogging or a lot of picture taking, you can put this on the bottom of your camera and then just go ahead and you can slide that back in. Maybe I can't. Slide it back in, and you have that attached to your shoulder strap on your pack. Makes it much easier. So anyways, this is what I have for my ditties and my electronics and what I use. And I pretty much always, I mean, because I shave my head especially, always have to use that sunscreen. 10 miles or less, I'll use nothing, but more than 10, the Body Glide, and use all that over there for blister prevention, and this over here pretty much for all of my electronics and my battery backup bank and charging and transferring data. So anyways, this is all my ditties and electronics. Hope to help. So last but not least, your poop kit. We have to address this. I hope you might be lucky enough to stay at an established campground where you don't have to disperse camp or address this issue and you have this taken care of. But if not, then I have here, and you can grab this from the REIs, the Deuce of Spades. They have the third version. It's a bit larger. I'd probably buy that if I had to again. I put on here some duct tape so that way it doesn't, kind of rub in when you do dig. But just so you know, you're supposed to dig at least, if you have to dig a cat hole, at least 6 inches. Well, that's basically this length. So you have to get all the way down. So you have to really work in there. But you have to really go for it. So yeah, this is fine. It does great. It's sturdy enough. It feels like it's like too pliable, but it's not. I've used it in the Sierra. That's fine. And then I use a quick offsack just to store my toilet paper. But if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably get the larger size, not the Deuce of Spades, but the larger size. Just makes it easier to dig. And this really is a lot easier to dig than a stick or your trekking poles. So I would definitely advise getting this if you're going to go camping in an area that might not have a facility. So yeah, hope that helps. And now for the bonus footage. Okay, so for the bonus footage, I decided to include some luxury items. Well, one, with some of the tent setups I have and can potentially recommend depending on your budget. So I'm going to start with the big luxury item. This is by no means necessary, but very helpful. It's the Helinox Chair Zero. Comes in at £1 and an ounce with stuff sack. It's very nice to sit down and take a nice break at the end of the day. I would recommend this if you're doing any kind of short distance hiking. But it's great to have. It really is. I've used it many times. It's great. So this is the REI Half Dome 2 Plus. This is enormous. It's also quite affordable. But this is an enormous tent. This is like a palace. Oh my God. You can see how long this is, how huge this is. This takes up a lot of pack weight. It is 4 pounds, 14, almost 5 pounds. But you can see, you can look at the dimensions here. These are huge dimensions. This is definitely a 2-person tent and then some. So great for those of you who want to camp with your sons. This is the pole system that goes with it. It's just enormous. It's huge. It comes out with a lot of guidelines and a lot of optional guidelines, so you can really ratchet it down for high wind. But my goodness, whew, you talk about if you're one person, this is too much room. If you're 2 people, you can bring all your equipment inside. It's just enormous. So it's good if you're just doing an average little small hike. Now I'm going to give you two options here. So this is for our more adventurous hikers. This is for us who, zoom out a little bit, give you an idea there as to the size. You can see what you're dealing with there. So this is the Zpacks Duplex camo version. It's a little bit heavier than their other colors. You can go and look online. So one thing I'm going to mention, this is a MSR groundhog steak. It is a really good steak. You can definitely use it, and I do, for the REI Half Dome 2 Plus. You can use it for the Z-Pack. You can use it for anything, really. This is really good for terrain that is dirty and rocky and has a lot of pebbles and such. It really cinches down. The MSR Groundhog Mini, not so great. It's only about 6 inches. And you have to have good soft terrain that doesn't have a lot of crap and like pebbles, and good solid terrain that doesn't just pull up. So I normally use this guy for most of our hiking in the mountains because the dirt's so cruddy. But if you're out there in Virginia Beach in the area, maybe the ground's really well, and you can get away with these guys. They're at REI. They're reasonably well priced. So, and I've taken my, or not on this guy, but I have on this one, my at-home drill and grinded these down. You don't have to. But anyways, this is the Zpacks Duplex. Zpacks Duplex. That's twice now. This is actually a really good spacious tent. It is also very expensive because it is made, and both of these are, of Dyneema, which is waterproof. This is as close to a waterproof tent as you could possibly ever get. There's a ton of videos on this on YouTube. It's very easy to set up, very easy to pack up. Extremely lightweight, is 19.999 ounces on my scale. So it's 19.999. It's extremely light. It's extremely easy. It's a single wall though. Both of these are single wall, which means you have condensation. So for those of you who are watching this video, you want to travel light, ultralight in the summer months, get away with as least as you can, have a fast setup, fast breakdown, then the Zpacks Duplex is wonderful. I can't say enough good things about it. I would probably say, depending on where you camp or where you're at in the country, use the regular groundhogs. You can get away with some minis, but you really want to use those. And if you want to go further down the rabbit hole here, this is a Tarptent Pro Trail Li for lithium. This is made out of Dyneema. This is 17.7 ounces, so it's a little bit lighter than the Duplex. I will go ahead and flash to a setup over here now. And what you saw was my setup at the Crater Lake National Park. It is actually quite roomy for one person. So this is a bona fide one-person tent. It comes with these aluminum stakes, which are lighter than the groundhogs, and they work very well. They really do, and they're quite strong. So this is as light as I can get and still be even comfortable. There are other things out there, but this is as light as you can go and still be comfortable, still have stuff inside your tent and all around, and still have ventilation. It's a single wall tent, so you have to deal with condensation, but these are waterproof to the extent you could possibly get. They don't retain water, they don't sag, they repel water. But And this is a bona fide 2-person tent. Most 2-person tents are 1 person. This is a bona fide 1-person tent, as advertised. Tarp tent out of Nevada City, California. And this is Zpacks, and I'm not sure exactly, I'm sorry, where they're out of, but I will go ahead and post the weights again. 19.99, 17.7, fantastic tents, wonderful. This guy is the big guy, but much more affordable. This is $629 US dollars, and I want to say this is 500 something US dollars. But this is for the far end of the spectrum here. These are for people who want to go ultra light and ultra easy, especially in the summer when you don't have to worry about tons of snow, anything. Like, just pack up and go, just go. This is good for any time of year, even now here in the winter when I would take it out. But if you are out there with your son or daughter or even your spouse, huge tent, you will not be disappointed. And if you want to get a rest and take some weight off your feet and not sit on a pole or sit on a log, then this Chair Zero Helinox is fantastic. So in any event, that's the bonus footage here. I hope you appreciated it. Hope you found it of some value. If you have any questions about these tents, I've tried them all out. About that chair, tried it out several times. Let me know and I'll do it the best I can to answer you. So that's the end of the video. That's everything in depth. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it very useful. Skip around for what you want and what you don't want. And if you did like it, give it a thumbs up. Give it a comment on anything. If you have any questions, leave me a question and I will go ahead and respond. Until next time, thanks so much for watching and have a good one.